different from everybody else.
Home cooked.
We talking home cooked.
Home cooked.
Home cooked.
With Lori.
Today we're going to be making a homemade hamburger helper. These are just some of the ingredients that you're going to need. I've got some garlic cloves, half of an onion, some butter, some elbow macaroni, and some raw ground beef. So what we're going to do first is we're going to chop up the garlic first. And if you've never chopped up a fresh garlic clove before, all you do, you see I'm just peeling away the skin. Came off super easy. You're just going to take your knife and you put the base of it here, and then you just kind of put your weight on top of it, and then you can see the skin just peels right off. I always use fresh garlic. Not always, but pretty often we use fresh garlic in what we are making. It's really easy. It's super cheap. Get yourself a whole bulb of garlic, and then you've got some. Alright, here's the onion. I used some of it for a different recipe the other day, and we're just going to cut up this onion. How do I want to cut it? I'll cut it this way. It's alright if you don't know how to professionally cut anything. I don't either. It doesn't need to be perfect. This isn't a 5-star restaurant. So you've got your semi-diced onions over here. We'll just give it another. It's a little bit more onion than I thought I was going to need. We will just slice up this garlic real quick. And we're gonna put this into the pan. Over here I've had my pan heating up, and I'm gonna just dollop a generous amount of butter in there, because we've got quite a bit of onions and whatnot to fry up. So just go ahead and spread this butter around. I've also got a pot of boiling water. Well, it's not boiling yet, but it's gonna be boiling. Go ahead and get both of these things set up. Alright, now once your butter has come to a melt, we're gonna put our onions and our garlic in there so that they can cook up. And I've got this set at medium to high heat. You want to kind of get these a nice saute. And our water is almost boiling, so we'll go ahead and put the noodles in. Again, I just kind of eyeball the amount of pasta. I'm probably gonna give that a swirl, and we're gonna leave this alone to boil. Let's move on back to the onions and garlic. My eyes are watering from the onions, but they smell good and it's gonna be good. We're gonna let these continue to saute for just a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna throw the meat in. If you haven't done so, you need to set your oven to 350 degrees, because we're gonna throw this into the oven kind of like a casserole. Alright, now that these have been cooking, The onions got a little bit softer, and you can smell the garlic. That's always a good point of reference to go to if you don't know how long to, you know, cook the garlic and the onions before you put the meat and whatnot in. Go until you smell the garlic. It'll give off, you know, that classic garlic smell. Once you get that, you know you're good. But we've got a pound of ground beef here. We're gonna put that in. It's still a little frozen. That's alright. Nothing a little heat can't cook. Just kind of chop it up. Give it a good chopping. And we're just gonna cook this ground beef until it's brown, boys. I'm gonna put a lid on this meat and let it cook. Make sure that you guys give your pasta a stir every once in a while. You don't want your noodles sticking together and getting clumpy. At this point, I'm going to drain the meat. I know that it's not cooked all the way yet, but the longer it sits in this pool of water and grease, and you know, it's just gonna be boiled meat. And I don't like my meat boiled, so I'm gonna go drain it. Pour the meat back into the pan. Alright, now I'm going to give it some more seasoning. Because I knew I was going to drain it, I didn't season it other than with the onions and the garlic, because I knew I was going to drain it and I didn't want to lose all those flavors after I drained it. So I just put some salt and pepper on here. Gonna give it a little mix in. Oop, I lost one. Alright, and then I'm just gonna give it a taste. Pretty good, pretty good. Normally I would use garlic powder, onion powder, but I used fresh onion, fresh garlic instead. But if you didn't, go ahead and season the meat to your liking. I'm probably going to put just a little bit more pepper. Never too much pepper. Now that the meat is cooked, go ahead and set it aside so that we can focus on making the pasta. Alright, now don't forget to always season your pasta before you put any more sauce or whatever on it. So get yourself some butter, a generous amount of butter, and let's just put a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, and pepper, and salt. Swirl it, and then your pasta. Okay, now with your seasoned pasta, we are going to put some cheddar cheese in here. Just like 2 handfuls. Give it a little stir. I'm also going to put chunks of cream cheese in here. Give that a little stir. You can see the cheese already starting to melt. I'm going to put a little bit of cream instead of milk, just a little bit. This is just to get it creamy. More cheese. And maybe some pepper. Let's give this a taste. tastes like mac and cheese to me. I'll cover this for just a minute. Listen to that. That's some good mac and cheese. So we're gonna take the mac and cheese and we're gonna throw it in here. Now that the noodles are in with the meat, we're gonna top it with some more cheese. And then we're gonna stick this in the oven just long enough for this top cheese to melt. Look at this. Now, if this doesn't look like gourmet hamburger helper to you, I don't know what does. Let's go ahead and get some of this in a bowl. Let's dig into this food.